their lives.
So Dee has not only been a working actress, which she still is, as well as guiding us on the self-creation process, but she's authored 6 books on the subject of self-creation, and she conducts a live call-in internet radio show each Sunday morning at 9 a.m. Pacific time. So Dee conducts private sessions from her home in Woodland Hills, California via phone and in person. And we are so excited. I think she may have even added to that book list. Welcome to the program again, Dee, and tell us about your latest book and everything that's been happening.
Well, thank you for that beautiful introduction. It makes me feel very old or iconic, and I'm going to pick number 2. Yes, my latest book is Born, Giving Birth to a New You. And I wrote it because of all the thousands and thousands of private sessions I've done. I really started seeing that people talked about the creation process. They study a lot about the creation process. They read a lot about the creation process, and we do not live the creation process. Now, a lot of my work is a beautiful combination of religion, spirituality, and brain science, all of which are really saying the same thing. We were taught and put on this plane to learn and practice free will and to experience our own power in our own creation. So the very, very first thing that you have to do if you want to create anything is know what you want. And that sounds really easy. And I'm telling you, maybe 1 out of every 100 private I do really know what they want. They're all very clear about what they don't want. You know, I can go out and talk and have somebody come to the stage and go, okay, what do you want? I don't want to have to worry about money so much. Good. What do you want? Well, I don't want to be stressed out about money. Good. What do you want? This can go on literally for 20 minutes until they get so upset with me. They go, God, I want more money. And I go, that's the first time you told me what you wanted. And that, guys, is exactly why one of the big reasons we do not get what we want, because we are not saying clearly and then being in alignment with what it is we want. Now, what does it mean to be in alignment? So you have to choose what you want and be clear about it. And then you have to commit to it, not hope about it. Not, gosh, wouldn't it be really nice? You need to make a commitment that no matter what, I am going to create this. This is exactly how I created my daughter. All the specialists told me I would never have a baby. I said, thank you very much for sharing. God and I have a different plan. Took me 6 years. I held the intention. I knew she was a little girl. I could see her. I even cut out a picture from a magazine and showed it to my husband. And I said, this is Gabrielle. This is what she's going to look like. I wish I'd kept it because she was almost identical to that picture. So I never gave up. I didn't give my power away to someone who was supposed to have more power than me, who was supposed to, and this is something we all do. Well, they've got a degree. Well, they're a doctor. Well, they're a rabbi or a priest, they should know they have more power in my creation than I do. And it's just not true. In the good book, it says God wants to give us all the desires of our heart. So we must know what those desires are. And we must know also these miracles and more will you do also. We are literally given permission to claim and use our power in the creation of our lives. So it took me 6 years, worked with an acupuncturist, and this is what they mean by mysterious ways, guys. I got a film that took me to Australia. Australia happens to be one of the leading countries in fertility and fertility treatments. So my handler secretly took me to see this top doctor there, who happened to find out that I had a very large fibroid tumor, one of the largest actually ever on record. Didn't have any clue, didn't have any symptoms, but that is what was keeping me from getting pregnant. The sperm couldn't even get through. But I had to hold the vision, hold the faith, and take a little trip to Australia to find that out. And then I came back and I worked with an acupuncturist and shrunk the tumor and had my baby. And that is a really good example of pretty much how we create everything. Know what you want, commit to it, and then, and this is direct from my channel, create it with love. Whatever you want, love it more. Love is, bar none, the most powerful tool we have to create with. We think of it as some namby-pamby little soft emotion. It is literally the force of creation itself. I mean, the first thing we learn in Bible school is God is love, right? Creation is love itself. So why then is it so easy for us not to accept that responsibility of self-creation? Well, I just want to invite you all. How many of you, when you were a little boy or a little girl, how many of your parents said to you, you can do anything. You can have anything you want. You are so strong and awesome and powerful. You just ask forever. Not many of us, because like our parents were taught and their parents were taught, God doesn't love you if you ask for what you want. People will think you're full of yourself if you love yourself too much. Good little girls and boys don't do that. And so that keeps being passed down and passed down. And so our little children within us learn all that. And this is brain science. Whatever you are taught from verbally or whatever's modeled in front of you from conception to 8 years old, that is literally how you believe the world works, how you think creation works. So, for example, my grandmother, whom I loved more than life, she was very religious, and I remember her saying often, they're the rich people, we're the good people. All right, so what is a little girl of 5, 6, and 7? What does that mean to her then? Oh, people with money aren't good people. So cut to 32 years later, when I'm starring in the biggest blockbuster of all time, probably made more money for that film than my parents made in 10 years. And all of a sudden, you guys, they went, oh my gosh, I'm one of them. I'm one of them. I'm not a good person. And then I thought, wait a minute. I don't believe that. That's not my belief. That was grandma's belief, but I don't resonate with that. I don't believe God judges us or the universe or the force, whatever your term is. It doesn't really matter. I don't think we're judged on how much money or how lack of money we create. In fact, I don't think we're judged at all. I think our creation is just matched to whatever signal we put out. So they measure our hearts with electrocardiograms. They measure our brains with electroencephalograms. So every thought, every feeling you have shoots out an electrical charge that goes out into a world that is electromagnetic. So whatever we're shooting out, the universe, without judgment, matches it. And that is the continuing experience that we create our lives with. So if we are going to change the experience of our lives, we have to consciously choose a new thought, a new feeling, a new belief to send out a new charge that matches exactly what we want to create. So I want to take you through a little exercise. Everybody think of one thing they want to create. Good. Now, I want you, just off the top of your head, don't get into your mind, what were the messages that you got about creating that or creating anything or having anything and everything you wanted before you were 8 years old? Pick one limiting belief that you can locate there. Okay, good. Let's all close our eyes. Take a deep breath. Ah, good. And I want you to envision yourself in a big empty room with 2 chairs in the middle. And this is a very safe room, incredibly safe room. And I want you to sit in the chair on the left. And I would like you to ask your little girl or little boy to come in and sit opposite you. Good. And I want you to look at them and thank them for being willing to come talk to you. And tell them how much you love them. And I want you to acknowledge that you understand why they've been pulling back and trying to keep you safe. That when they were little, they got this limiting message. And I want you to ask them, I understand and I love you so much. I want to know, are you willing to trust me to teach you a new way to think about this, a new way to create what we both want so that we can both be more powerful and happy in our lives? Would you trust me because I will always take care of you? Will you trust me to teach you this new belief that we're supposed to create everything we want? That's actually why we're here, to love ourselves and to understand ourselves as the gods of us that we are. Are you willing to play with me so that we can both be more free and happy? And listen to what they say. Yeah, good, because I can tell you from leading people through this exercise, they all want to be free. They all want to trust us. They all want to be on our side and know that they don't have to keep us safe anymore by holding us back, that they can play with us in an empowering way so that we can all create what we want. So now I'd like you to ask them, tell them again how much you love them and appreciate them, and ask them if they'd like to come sit on your lap. Great. And just put your arms around your little girl or little boy and just love them unconditionally and thank them for trusting you. And ask them now, tell them you're integrated now. You're one integrated energy working together to clearly create through love what you are choosing. And you're going to open your eyes now. If any time they ever want to talk to you again, they just have to let you know, and you will meet them back in this room. Thank them again. Tell them how much you love them. And we're off and running. I love that exercise. Every time I do it, I feel little Deanna just go, I'm here, I'm ready to play. So, our parents and grandparents and their parents limited us because of false teachings that they received also. It's time for us to write our own stories of empowerment, guys. The biggest beliefs that my channel says, the two biggest beliefs that limit us in our creation is I don't have permission to love who I am, and I will never be the powerful God of me. I can't be. Now, this started a long time ago, according to my channel, when the popes and the kings in days of yore got together and went, well, gosh, if we tell them how powerful they are, we won't have so much power, will we? So, one of the big messages back then was, God won't love you if you have too much money, so you need to give your land and your money to the church, which is now one of the wealthiest institutions in America. So what's wrong with that picture? And this is up for everybody right now, so I really want you to hear this. Remember that charge we send out, and that's the charge that the universe has to match? If we're not acknowledging ourselves and we're not loving ourselves. And we're saying, oh, I should make myself smaller. The universe cannot love you, cannot acknowledge you, and cannot help you empower yourself to make yourself bigger and greater, because the universe must match the charge that you send out. So it all starts within us, guys. Everything starts within our choice. Everything. Who do you want to be? Do you want to be the powerful God of you who, through love, creates everything you want? Or do you want to be the powerful God of you who is in fear and holds himself small? In this community, I'm pretty sure it's number one. What do you think, guys? I don't know where we're at on our time.
We are
gosh.
beautiful on our time.
I could just sit and listen to everything you have shared. I loved how you gave the analogy that we study, we immerse ourselves, but you have to live it. This is the same at a point where I was learning to be English as a second language teacher. There is a trap that happens when you study, but you don't put into practice what you're doing. We're fear of saying the words incorrectly when we talk, and it's a stumbling block that stops you from being able to speak another language or learn another language, because you stop yourself from just making mistakes.
And creation is a language. Absolutely. And the other thing, they wanted me to go to Core Belief 24. When I am loved, I am depressed. And that's that guilt thing that's woven through there. The channel is saying this year, especially, there's two things that are incredibly important in 2024. One is adaptation, that those who are able to adapt will thrive and be much happier. And the second thing is to get up every day and say, how much can I love me today? How much can I acknowledge all the good, beautiful blessings and powers that I am? And we're just, it's a process of retraining our brains, guys, to not default to the negative and what we don't want, but to always choose the more empowering thought that we are creating exactly and receiving exactly what we want through divine love. And
I think, like anything, it's through consistency. And I love how you said every morning. It's not just in the mornings I feel like it, once a month. Every morning, how can I love myself more? If we were to just start with that one simple tool, you are going to change in the months to come. Absolutely.
You have to, because ask and ye receive. So if you get up every morning and go, my intention is to love and acknowledge myself today. How can I? How can I? Give me every way that I can love and acknowledge and create more of me today. You have to be answered. That's the law.
I know you probably already answered this, but as we creep toward the end of the program, if you want to give just a short one message to our viewers, what would it be?
Oh, love yourself. It's the key to everything, guys. It's the key to everything. Your creation, your happiness, your health, your money flow. Because, you know, who do we want to give everything to? The people we love. And we are almost always not on that list, and we need to be.
What are some of the other self-sabotage limiting beliefs that you have seen constantly with those that you give sessions to?
Oh, I don't know how. Or I don't know. So your brain thinks in pictures. So when you say, I don't know how, your brain goes, well, I can't find that. I can't show them how then, because they've already directed themselves not to know. So everything is a direction of energy, positively or negatively. Energy must be directed to take physical manifestation. We direct energy through our thoughts, our feelings, and our beliefs, most of which are not chosen. They're random. They're from our childhood, from our fears, from commercials, from, God forbid, social media. So if we're not consciously directing the energy will take its direction from anything that gets its attention. And most of those things, do you know, if you watch 1 hour of TV, you can get up to 50 messages of diseases that you're going to get, the pills you should take, and how probably those might kill you also. So if you're not aware and conscious that you're looking at all those commercials and going, no, thank you for sharing. I am perfect health and wellness. That's who I am.
Beautiful.
You're talking. You're doing
Preaching
exactly what
choir.
I teach.
But
Preaching to the choir.
I love the. I don't know how we can reframe that. Spirit, show me the way, because Spirit will always deliver. And even the meditation you shared is a beautiful step. Love yourself. All of those are such valuable tools. Unbelievably, we have to come to a close. But before we do, Dee's website, iamdeewallace.com. She has so many tools, everyone. So please check out her website, tune into her internet radio show, and love yourself more than you could possibly believe you could love yourself. Thank you, Dee. Thank you so much.
Oh, such a joy to be with you both. And thank you for everything you do for everybody.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, who's going to love us more in the break we're going to take?
Yep.
We are going to take a break. Go and love yourself, and then we'll see you back here for some more love in the Circle of